Why, hello, Midway Piper here. I hope all is going well. Today is Thursday. I'm very happy about that. My last night working at the gym this week. I don't have to rush out super early tomorrow morning, so that will be nice as well. Yes, life is good. Anyways, today I got, you know it, it's the Chris Harriott Squat Rhodesian sandblasted. In it, I have some Gawith and Hogarth brown flake scented. Although, I took it out to dry a little while ago, and I think it might have sat out a little too long because the lovely lakeland nature of it doesn't seem to be really coming out today, which is a shame. Oh, there's a little hint of it. Good. All right. So, I was at work, and I was talking with two of our volunteers, and they're both older ladies. We started talking about old cars that we used to have, and it was cool to hear. One of them's in her 80s, early 80s, and the other one I think is in her mid to late 60s. So it was cool to hear about the cars that they used to have. And talked a little bit about the efficacy of purchasing a new car compared to a used car. And just brought me down memory lane of all the cars that I've had in my life. And so I thought I'd just share that with you guys real quick. The first car I got when I was in high school. I worked in high school. I think I got a job when I was, probably a freshman in high school. Sophomore at the latest. And I like to joke that was kind of the richest time of my life. I had no expenses, nothing to worry about, and any money I made, I could do whatever I wanted with. And so I bought my first car. I really wanted a Jeep Cherokee. That was my dream car. And I was saving up. I finally had enough to go out and go looking. And my parents decided that I should not have an SUV for my first car. Said I should have a good old small car, just like everyone's first car. I was kind of pissed. So I went out shopping with my dad, and we left. We left the lot with a used Toyota Corolla. And it was not a good car. It was not a good car. And it cost a lot more than it should have. You bought it used at a dealer. And anytime you hit, 45, 50 miles per hour on any highway, the car would just start shaking uncontrollably. So I got that junior year of high school. And I drove to school senior year of high school. And then summer after I graduated, I think it was, I got accepted to Syracuse. And I was like, this car, I can't drive this car from, I grew up in Northern Virginia. I said, I can't drive this car from Northern Virginia to Syracuse. That's a highway. This thing's going to shake to pieces. And I can't deal with the Syracuse winter with this little thing. So I finally got my Cherokee. Got rid of the Corolla, got a Cherokee. It was a 99. Good old boxy Jeep Cherokee. I think that's probably to date still my favorite car. It was a strange green color. It was not the standard dark green. It was like an army green almost. And I loved that car. I drove it back and forth between Northern Virginia and Syracuse countless times. Drove it upstate for summer courses. Back and forth, Northern Virginia and Syracuse. Right out of college, I had, so sophomore year I had to live in the dorm, so I didn't have a car. And then sophomore year, I moved out into an apartment and had my car for the last other 3 years. So I had the Jeep for all that, Syracuse winters and all. And then right after I graduated, I had about 4 days to get back down to Virginia, drop off all my stuff after I moved out of Syracuse, and then back up to Minnesota for an internship. Put a lot of miles on that car. And it had a lot when I got it too. And when I was out in Minnesota, developed this problem where on occasion, when you turn the car off, smoke would start pouring out of the hood. And I took it to a bunch of Minnesota backwoods mechanics and could never replicate it. And it didn't do that all the time. It was just every once in a while. So then after the internship, I moved out here. Took it to a couple of, not so backwoodsy mechanics. No one could figure anything out. And it reached the point where I was like, all right, I got to do something about this. I traded the thing in. Cash for Clunkers program. They gave me $2,000 for the Cherokee. I think I spent $5 on it, so not a bad deal. And I just got it was a paid internship for my first year at the job. It's just still where I'm at now. And I was living with my in-laws, and so I went and bought a new car, my first brand new car. And it was a Suzuki SX4 crossover. It's a tiny little car. And I had that car for about 3 years, and every year something happened to it. The first year it got backed into at a family Thanksgiving. No, 4 years I must have had it. 1 year it got backed into at work by a big truck. Had to get the whole trunk replaced. The next year, I was at nephew's birthday party, and there was like we were inside, and there was like a freak hailstorm, and we came out, and my car looked like a golf ball. It was just dented on every angle. Hail bounced off the cars next to it, hit the sides. I mean, it was a mess. It was in the shop for well on a month. They were initially going to try to pop all the dents out of the car, and then after 2 weeks of that nonsense, they're like, yeah, we're just going to put a whole new skim coat over your car. Oh, man. And then the next year, I had a family get together for Thanksgiving. Somebody hit one of the rear panels of my car and busted the headlight, the tail light. Still don't know who it was. Nobody ever copped to it. And they had discontinued the car at that point. They had stopped making it, and the tail light replacement ended up being like $700-800 because they didn't make the car anymore. And that started getting me nervous about what else could go wrong with the car and how expensive things were getting for it. And then the next year, I was driving home from work, and a deer ran out in front of me, and I think I just clipped one of its back legs as it was jumping, and it was fine. The deer was fine. The car was fine, but I was like, that's it. This car is cursed. So I traded that in, and I got a Toyota Tacoma, 4-door Tacoma, and that was cool. Good car. I liked it. I had that for a couple of years, and then my son was born, and we had a dog, 80-pound dog, and once my son was born, his car seat would be in the back seats of the pickup, and my dog would be back there with him, and my dog developed this habit of sitting on him in the car seat when we would drive. And he's being protective. He was a pit mix, and that's what they do. They're super protective of family. That was his way of protecting him in the car, but I was like, this isn't gonna work. So I went just kind of on a whim. It was 2019, and I kind of wanted an SUV fully enclosed with a trunk. I wasn't getting as much use out of the pickup truck as I had suspected I was going to. I had a toolbox I had the short bed, and I had a toolbox in there, and I wanted to get a bed cover as well, and apparently you can't do that and a toolbox, which still baffles me as to how that's not possible at this point, but whatever. It wasn't something I could do. So I was eyeing the 4Runner, and if you don't know, the 4Runner and the Tundra, the bigger Toyota pickup, their rear windshield goes down like it's one of the side windows, so you can raise it and lower it, which is great for a dog. And I looked at the 2020 4Runner was about to come out, and they offered it in this army green color I loved, but the price was, they were jacking the price up by like another $7,000. And I was like, there's no, other than the color, there's no features that I make it that much more worthwhile. So I went to go look at the 4Runners, the 2019 4Runners that were still on the lot. And I just went to go look, and I ended up trading in my Tacoma for a 4Runner. And I hate the color. It's white. I don't like white cars. The Corolla was green. The Jeep was green. Suzuki was black. The Tacoma was like a brown. And the 4Runner was white. And that was the only one I could really find. So I traded in the Tacoma for it. And I promised myself once I paid off the truck, I would get it wrapped. Well, the 4Runner's paid off. It's still not wrapped. I just don't care anymore. The idea of spending more money. I'm at a point in my life now where I understand that a car is a depreciating it's not an asset. It's a liability. That's the word I was looking for. It's a depreciating liability. Tell it its value very well, though. But so that was in 2019, right before the 2020 nonsense and the spike in car costs and all that. So I got 2019 4Runner TRD Pro, top of the line. And now if I were to get a new 4Runner, the base model starts at what I paid for my fully loaded in 2019, which is insane. TRD Pro is like $80,000 now. It's crazy. I would never pay that. So I have that. Almost got 100,000 miles on that car, which I know for 4Runner is just sort of breaking it in, but that's. And then now I've got my father-in-law's Tacoma. It's living at our house. He can't drive anymore, and they don't want it at the house for him to see it and get the impression that he can go out and drive. So it's living at our house, and it's got half the mileage my 4Runner does. So when it's just me out tooling around, going back and forth to work and whatnot, I take the pickup. And then when we go out as a family or with my son, take the 4Runner. This little booster seat's still in there, so. But absolutely nothing of serious content today. I just figured it'd be more of a fun video, going down memory lane a little bit. We were talking. Every once in a while, I still look on like Facebook Marketplace to see what I could get a used Cherokee for, because I still miss that car. They're expensive still. They're still like, you know, I love that boxy Cherokee. So you're looking in the 2001, I think, is the newest that I would get. So I'm mostly looking at the late 90s. And you still want like $7,000 for those things. And Cherokees, are off-road beaters. So getting a car from the 90s, that was a popular off-road beater that got modified frequently, lifted and such. I can't bring myself to spend that kind of money on something that's probably in rough shape. So that's it. Just went for a trip down memory lane today, so I figured I'd share that because, you know, anyways, yeah, that's it for today. Just figured I'd share that with you guys. Out of curiosity, what was your favorite car you've ever had? Definitely going to be the Cherokee for me. I think the 4Runner is probably the closest. I guess like the 4Runner, like the Bronco would kind of be like the closest to that now that you could get. I refuse to acknowledge the Cherokee that Jeep released a number of years back. That is a nonsense garbage vehicle that is nowhere in the realm of the spirit of the Cherokee, even though they gave it that name. That is a horrible car. I've had the just on the sheer appearance of it, I refused. And then we got one as a work vehicle, and I've driven it a couple times, and I hate it just as much on the functionality of it as I did from the looks of it. So I refuse to acknowledge the existence of that. You know what Stellantis has done to every line of vehicles that they own is atrocious. The Jeeps are crap. They've pretty much killed off the entire line of Dodge. I used to like I like the Challengers, but they stopped making those. They turned the what do you call it? The Charger into an electric now that makes has been programmed with cool sounds, so it sounds like a good old Charger, but it's all fake. What they have done is disgusting. And then their line of Ram products are stupidly overpriced. Ram pickup trucks are just ungodly priced. So, yeah, I think the only car brands that I have any interest in at this point yeah, I think it's pretty much just Toyotas. I still like the Subaru Crosstrek. You know, living in New York, I would not dream of getting a car that doesn't offer some sort of all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. So that knocks out a lot of stuff. But I sort of like the Subaru Crosstrek, but it's getting kind of to be a smaller car, so. I used to like the Honda Ridgeline pickup, but they killed that. That looks like garbage now. Looks like they mounted a pickup bed on the back of a minivan. Ugly thing. So, yeah. At least Toyota has a sense of making a good-looking car. But All right, that's it. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.